Welcome back to Bermuda. You've had these coaches here for almost a week now. The significance of obtaining a C license for these coaches and you helping to put them through these paces, how significant is it, and what does that C license do for these coaches?
For me, it's very important because the C license, we call that the C license UFI equivalence, is 40 hours altogether. So now we have 20 hours, and in September we'll have 20 hours. So in fact, with the 40 hours, we will bring a lot to beginners, because here you have several levels. You have formal players, you have ladies, you have young men, you have beginners. So I am sure that when they will be back in their clubs, they can offer a very good training for all the boys, not making mistakes, make the boy improve. If you want good players, you need good coaches. If you want good players, you need good coaches. I repeat it twice because it is the most important. And for the boys, it is funny because the exercises are good, they improve quicker, they're happy, everybody is happy. So it's important that it is compulsory now to have the C license to be a coach anywhere on the island.
Now, after a C license course and you want to take the B license, is there a time frame, and what do you have to accomplish once you've done the C license in order to take that B license course?
You have to make the difference between two types of coaches. The first will be with the C license and will be happy to have the C license and will be in charge of the under 14, under 12, the grassroots and so on. For the best, if they get 80 points on 100, they will be allowed to go to the B license, and that is another level. The requirement is far higher, is rather to be first team coach, head coach in a club with a senior team. So the idea is progressively to come to what is done in Europe. It means to have 2 years experience minimum with an 11-a-side plus 80 points, and after that you can go to the B license. And it's the reason why I had this agreement with the Scottish FA, because I was working with them very often as a lecturer, and I know they are doing a good job.
Now, I've observed you talking with coaches who are next up to go through the drills. What are some of the things you're telling them in order to make sure that they're prepared for their 10-15 minute drill that they're going to have the group of kids in, and some of the other coaches as well?
You know, here I have two objectives. The first is to give some information to beginners, but it's also to coach the coaches, to coach the coach educators, because I have the elite, the guys who are really with a good experience. So I let them give the advices and I control all that. And me, I try to help the coaches with the book, because I wrote 4 books. So each time they have an exercise, they come to me. So is it clear for you? Do you understand that? What is the problem? How could be the evolution? Be careful, don't do that mistake. So they can be more confident, because when you come, you know it's not easy. So they are more self-confident, and I'm sure they will avoid the massive mistakes because I help them to implement the exercise.
Now, I asked Jacques last week when he was here this question, and the more I ask experienced coaches, the more I learn. So the one question I would ask is, when we talk about nationally, we always hear coaches talking about patience because you want to build something. Yeah. But in the domestic game, especially in England, it's instant. Everybody wants success instant. Is that something you're teaching coaches, that you have to want to build and trying to show patience in achieving what the ultimate goal is, and that's a program as opposed to titles right away?
Anyway, you want it or not, it's not in the split of seconds that you will become world champion. So it's a very long process. What people must understand in Bermuda is, even in the smallest country in the world, I can tell you that people are working very hard. So if Bermuda wants to be competitive in the Caribbean and maybe after for the World Cup, because we have more team at the World Cup, you never know. And they can, because in the past I knew that Bermuda they were really good, So you have to work hard, and you have just to start from with the under 6, 7, 8, have the right principles, be collective players, be team players, work for the team, work defensively, work offensively, and then if you do that for 6, 7 years, you will see the results, and at the end you will have good players. So that is the target.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, welcome.
Richard Todd, the president of the Bermuda Football Coaches Association. You've got Jacques here. You're going through your C licenses. I asked him the significance of having coaches go through a C license course, and for you as the president of the organization now, what are the benefits for these coaches here taking the C license course?
Well, for the benefits, what we're trying to do is refine the delivery of the sessions and the instruction and the focus for the coaches. So helping them not only in terms of understanding organization, how little adjustments can vastly impact the delivery of your session, but what is your objective and your focus? What are your coaching points? Are you able to identify your coaching points? Can you find those moments within the course of the session to paint that picture for the players, to emphasize and then to continue that focus on it? So it's important for the coaches because as they come, they are able to learn, and we see the progress and the improvement from each day with them in terms of their delivery, in terms of the identifying the coaching points, picking out the specific technical feedback that's relevant for the player in order to fix it. So it's an evolution for them. It's just helping them to take their coaching to a higher level and improve the overall quality of their delivery.
Years ago, there was a lot of talk about how coaches didn't want to come together, to work together, because I don't want to take my style, I don't want to. But the benefits of having this, coaches from all across the island come together, does that sort of help the country nationally and kind of everybody's on the same page as far as what message is being delivered and your understanding that it's being delivered in a better format?
Sure, it's a cultural shift, right? That we've gone from a point of being guarded and selfish with our information and what we do, and understanding that there's value within sharing and learning and getting the feedback and coming into the situations where you can be put in an uncomfortable situation. I think that was a big hesitant for many of the coaches previously to come into courses where they did not want their weaknesses maybe to be identified. And what we're saying right now, that it's okay, it's a progression. We can learn from each other. We can see those individuals who are doing a good job and pick up on the key pointers. We can listen to the feedback that's being given to those individuals in terms of the corrections and make the adjustments within our own skill sets as well. So it's really just taking people out of their comfort zone and saying it's okay to be uncomfortable and understand it's a process. We've seen the improvement in the course of this week from day to day. They will see the improvement when they come back for the second part of the course in September, where they've had time now to go back to their clubs and practice the delivery. And now when they come back, they are more comfortable with the execution, the organization, what is the objective and the focus of the session. And what that does is increase the overall levels back at the clubs. You improve the level of training, means you improve the level of the players. That improves the level overall within the leagues. The more and the better our domestic leagues are, that rises to the national level, and there's a domino effect. So it all starts right here at that grassroots level of getting good quality coaching education.
Now, last question, the Bermuda Football Association is kind of mandating that start of next season, coaches have to have at least a C license in order to coach. But do you honestly believe that they're going to meet that target? Because there's so many clubs and we have, 40 here. Will we fall short?
Well, I think you need to remember that we have over 120 already who have qualified for the C license. The fact that we have 40 here is because the emphasis has been placed to them that you've been given a year and the regulations come into effect at the end of August. As a result, this is the largest class that we've had of the C license in the years that we've been doing it. So the response has been there. We will follow this up with the intro to coaching, which is the D license, and that will occur in May. and if need be, we'll offer another one again in August. But we're going to do every part to ensure that every coach has had the opportunity to achieve the license level that they are required and they need in order to be coaching. It now will become up to the BFA with regards to how do you handle those individuals who are not compliant, who have had the time to become compliant. Do you factor in and consider for an individual who's been coaching at the highest level, the Premier or the First Division, that does not have the required B license but has made the effort to go get the C license? Are they given a window of a year or two in order to attain that? But at some point, your requirements and your regulations have to be enforced. Otherwise, the coaches will not comply, and they will continue to look for, a reason to be excused from doing it. So the response has been great. The clubs have been fantastic. The clubs are getting behind their coaches. They're sending their coaches out here. They're sponsoring a lot of their coaches with regards to covering the cost. And we think that this is just going to continue to have that domino effect. And it should rise all the way up to the national level, right? Which there is a standard that has been set that in order to coach at the national level, there's a minimum level of license that has been required. You will see that there are 5 or 6 coaches from the National Academy who are enrolled in or in the process of trying to pursue their B license because the standard needs to be followed and adhered to across the board, not only at the club level, but at the national level. They should be setting the standard because they are the one who's establishing the requirements.
Audio